I'm Jessica.
And I'm Darcy.
And welcome to our Mother-Daughter podcast. First video, we decided to do a podcast because we talk about a lot of things as mother-daughter and we have a very close relationship. So we thought we'd talk about it on a podcast. But first we're going to introduce ourselves and then we're just going to get into it.
Okay, well, first I'd like to introduce Jessica. We all thought it'd be better if we introduced each other because both of us don't like to talk about the things. So, I'm going to brag on her for a moment because she won't brag. So first of all, she's a pastry chef. And that has helped us tremendously in a lot of things that we do now. Who would have known? She makes amazing desserts, of course. We all benefit from that. She's a wonderful mother. And I love how her and my son-in-law raise their kids. And at another time, we will talk about mothers and daughters and relational things, because even though as a mother, you watch your children, nothing makes you prouder than to see them grow into this wonderful person. And even though I don't always agree, as a parent, I didn't have that with my mother, because if I didn't agree with her, she took it as a personal affront, and that causes a lot of unnecessary drama. And so mothers out there with daughters, just because they do it differently, it's not a personal affront to you. I just have to say that. Okay, I did not have a good relationship with my mother because of that. And so far, I've been trying to be very intentional as I raise my two daughters. Obviously, this one, we have a great relationship. The jury is still out on the other. I'll maybe have news on that in the future.
Fingers crossed.
But bottom line is I'm very proud of the person that she's become.
Well, thank you, Mom. That was very nice. Love all of that. I will introduce my mother. Wonderful, wonderful mother. She raised us in a very different way than a lot of parents raised their kids when I was growing up. I'm like the last year of millennials. I was born in 96. So growing up in that time frame, it was very hard, I guess, as a kid to be raised by my mom, but I am so thankful in the way she raised us. And I've built on that and the knowledge that she gave me. And what's been wonderful is that she has studied herbs for over 2 decades, which has been wonderful help with our business. And I've learned so much as an adult. And recently, this has been the best thing. And we'll do a whole episode on this particular subject, but I just had my 3rd baby last June, and when I got pregnant with that one, I told my mom, I was like, I don't want to have a baby in the hospital. Now, she's been there for all 3 births of the kids, but this one, I said, I don't want to go to the hospital. I want to have a home birth with just you and my husband. So I was like, Mom, can you please take doula classes and I'll educate myself as well. So she is officially a doula.
Yeah, but I said,
as of January.
I had no idea.
So she officially became a doula in January, but she's been around my birth for 8 years of me having kids. So anyway, so that's super duper exciting. We'll do a whole episode on that. But more about her. She went to the Army when she was younger, and she was a drug and alcohol counselor for many years. And then she got out of the Army and still a counselor. Mm-hmm. And then once the therapy took a different turn and she didn't want to go down that road.
Whole nother video.
Yeah, whole nother video. She started doing other things, and she eventually wound up being a assistant for a financial advisor, I guess, at first, until we moved to Missouri. And then she became a virtual assistant for financial advisors and has had her own business for years now. Over a decade.
2014,
yeah. So over 10 years. And that sums up your
I think so.
background.
Not a whole
pretty
lot
much.
to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get into it, because
the first subject that we want to talk about, we really debated on doing like a whole intro video, and then we're like, we don't want to talk about ourselves that much. We really just want to, like she said, get into it. about this one thing that has come to our attention that apparently is very common for the medical society to tell people to use, which we believe as a problem. Now, we are not medical professionals. By any means, we have no medical training. We are just people who do a lot of our own research and we're very crunchy. I was talking to my friends the other day and we were talking about being crunchy, and I said I feel like I'm so far past being crunchy that I'm more of a crispy. That should be a new term. I'm crispy. I'm not even crunchy anymore. So being crispy people, we are very aware of what we put in on our bodies, around our homes, and I'll let my mom tell the story of how she came across this being more of an issue than we actually thought it was to begin with.
Yeah. So how it happened, because this is not something that occurred to me, because this is a product that was used when I was a child, and to be honest, I've seen it around, haven't given it any thought, until I went down to visit a friend of mine who's older, who had skin cancer removed fairly recently, and I asked her, "Oh, really? What's the doctor have you putting on it?" And she said, "Vaseline." And, my first thought, because, I've never looked into Vaseline that carefully, other than the fact that it says petroleum jelly. As a mother, I never used Vaseline because it's petroleum jelly. And that tells me, what is petroleum? It's gasoline. So in my mind, I thought, anything that says anything about gasoline can't possibly be good for wounds. Well, lo and behold, I find out even when I was having kids, people were using it on their babies' bums. They were using it on dry skin. They were using it for moisturizer and makeup removers and lip balms and all these things. And I just intuitively didn't use it. And I can't honestly say I knew anything at all because I didn't. I just felt like anything that says petroleum can't possibly be good. And I just went along my life using other things. Well, this woman was putting this on, and I mentioned to her, I said, "Well, it's a petroleum product. I'm thinking that maybe it's not the best thing to put on an open wound." And so then after that, that opened my research. And what I found out, not only from her, but several of her friends, is that is a common recommendation from the medical community to use Vaseline or what's that other one? Aquaphor.
Which is basically just Vaseline.
It's the same thing. It's still petroleum jelly, and that's what they would recommend these older folks to put on their wounds, whatever those wounds were.
And I'm sure it's not just older folks too.
Oh, I think no, it's everything.
Yeah.
Kids and everything. And so I thought, I'm going to look into this. Vaseline came out in 1870. Makes me wonder how much filtration or purification took place in those days. Probably not. So fast forward to now, it goes through a tremendous filtering process, which is great.
Okay, so I want to tell y'all exactly how they process it from the research we've done. Now, we do recommend that everybody look this up for yourselves because the information's out there. All you have to do is go look for it and you will find it, I promise. But I'm going to read it straight from our notes because I really don't want to get this incorrect. So it is distilled at high temperatures to vaporize the fuels, right? And then the solvent is used to extract the heavier oils and then de-waxed to remove any additional components. It is stated that the final filtration achieves purification. What does that exactly mean? I don't know. I'm sure it's still not good for us.
Yeah.
And so it seems safe to use, but after all the processing, what is left is a PAH. That is called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons.
Okay, carbons, keyword.
Okay, which is a known carcinogen for a cancer-causing agent. And our wonderful FDA has not set any limits on the PAHs for skin products and only on things that we consume.
Okay, now real quick, let me just interject. Skin products, you have to think about that. Your skin is your largest organ. It absorbs everything we put in our body. And our capillaries and our veins are at the top of our skins. And when it soaks in and gets into your bloodstream, who's to say how, if they're not even monitoring how much is in skin products, but it's like, oh yeah, it's okay, put it all over your skin. We don't know how much you're absorbing.
It goes into your bloodstream.
And then gets dropped off wherever, because our body probably can't process it.
So the European
Union.
The European Union does restrict the content of the PAHs to less than 0.005%. In my personal opinion, I don't think it should be allowed in anything. Because, you know, it still causes cancer no matter how little you're putting on your body. And during some of our research, I was wondering, because I was looking at a couple products to see if it had petroleum in it because of something that we put in our notes. But during the additional research that we found was the American College of OBGYNs stated not to use it on your private parts for relational activities, you know, extracurriculars, especially if using a condom. Because, why is this, Mom?
Because if you use petroleum jelly products as a lubricant for those activities and you are using a condom, it will actually make the condom disintegrate. So that in and of itself makes it a little concerning, because if it can disintegrate latex, it makes you wonder what else it does to our bodies in general as you're soaking it in.
Yeah. And was an ingredient on there, side note, and I was like, what is this? It was just capital letters EDTA in one of the lubricants, and I looked it up, and on PubChem, the National Library of Medicine, states that it is a cancer-causing ingredient. Why is that in lubricants? I don't know. I don't remember exactly which one.
For your privates.
Yeah, it's going inside you, and you're.
Yes.
Anyways, anyway,
just no.
Continuing on, and I was like, you know, I wonder if there are any different names, because they change names on ingredients so they can sneak it in everywhere. That goes for food as well, right? So I was
another video.
Trust me, we have so much to talk about. I can't even tell you. But I was like, I wonder if they use it in any other names. And so these are the ones that I found that they use for petroleum jelly that isn't just petroleum jelly. So we have our paraffin, mineral oil, petroleum, and multi-hydrocarbon. Anyway, but those are the different ones, and as per my research, I couldn't find. I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'm gonna go actually look at the products, because it's just too hard to look at them online. It's easier just to kind of go look through them all.
And if it's not too embarrassing for you, we all suggest, if you use those products, to go and look at the ingredients. Take your cell phone, Google everything in there, and find out what you're putting in.
Yeah. For shits and giggles, I decided to look on PubChem again for one of the names on here, which was Petroleum. Okay, I looked on there, and I go on PubChem and look up Petroleum, which is another name for petroleum jelly. And I have it right here pulled up on my computer. I'll actually put the link below in our description box so y'all can go look at it for yourselves. In the very first title and summary, okay, it says chemical safety, health hazard, right there. And the funniest part is, if you go down, it has contents on the side, and you can click on safety and hazards. It tells you that it may cause cancer because of it's a carcinogen.
Right. So petroleum jelly, recommended by doctors, obstetricians, is a cancer-causing agent. Okay, if you're using it on your baby's bum, there are plenty of other products to choose from.
So many better products.
Okay, and just be mindful of what you're putting on you, your children, people in your family. If you have any in your house, all I can say is throw it in the garbage and go get something else, because we do not want to give our family members cancer.
And I also wanted to bring this up too, because I forgot that this was on here. On this, it has synonyms. I don't know why it's under synonyms, but it basically tells you all of the products that has it in there. which is very interesting.
Names. Yeah, other names of products, crazy stuff, lots of stuff for babies.
Yeah, I wish I could read these off. I really don't want people to come after me for spreading information.
There's too many to read on anyway.
Just go look at it, and you will see at least over 200 at minimum, if not more. Mm-hmm. It's insane, and the amount of baby products on here really worries me.
Really concerning, because as consumers, we buy things, even because I'm 61, so I remember the days of actual real ingredients when I was a child, and so that was nice. But nowadays, almost everything that you buy in the store, you really have to look at all the ingredients and Google what they are to really know what they are.
It's so sad that we have to be so diligent, but it's the only way, because they let these corporations put all this garbage and cancer-causing ingredients in our products that we put on our skin, in our bodies, on our laundry, all of this, and it's it irritates
me. We don't want to be political, because it doesn't matter what sides of the aisle that all of us are on. The fact remains that these products are there, and the only way for us to truly vote our conscience in these situations is to not buy the products. If we don't buy the products, they'll eventually go away because they're not making any money. End of story. But everybody has to be on board to some degree. I find it very interesting, and this would be another video in regard to when we do our video on foods and things, is the EU, and even when I was in the Army overseas, the food, when you go into the grocery store, is very different from ours, and they had real ingredients there, just like when I was young. And they still do to this day, for the most part, unless they're bringing food over there from here, which even then they make them change their recipes to even put them on their shelves. So that is, I hate to have our first video be so alarming.
I know, but it needs to be talked about.
It needs to be talked about.
It really does.
I just couldn't believe that the doctors were recommending this. It just blew my mind. It's not up to us to blame the government. It's not up to us to blame whatever goes on that we don't have control over.
We have control over what we purchase with our money.
With our money and how we treat our families. We so appreciate you listening, and we hope to see you again. Please subscribe. We plan on posting on a weekly basis as we're able, because we do have the farmers market season coming up. She does have 3 kids and a baby. We do live as a generational family, so things do get a little crazy and videos are a little hard.
Yes.
Hold
on. Before we actually go, we never talked about our actual business.
Oh,
I think we should probably touch on that.
And we should put a link to.
We'll put a link to our website in our description box, and it'll be on our profile. But what we do is we get fat from a local farmer here in Montana, and we get raw goat milk from a local farmer here really close to us, and we make raw goat milk soaps and lotion, the cleanest products we can possibly make. We have a whole skincare line, which I absolutely love. It's healed my cystic acne. And she uses it. She's 61. Let's be real. She does not look 61.
Well, that's nice, but we know. Go ahead. Still, I don't think that's true, but go ahead.
Anyways, she curates wonderful herbal teas. We have some tinctures online. Consult a physician before using them, please.
That's our disclaimer. We have to say it.
We don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, so that's what we do. I just have a little small farmers market business. If you're interested in looking at our products and learning more about what we do, you're welcome to go there. If you live in Montana and you're looking for a doula, her doula page is on our website, so feel free to go check her out. She is taking clients for this year.
Well, thanks for joining us. Next time I feel like we should have had a cup of coffee or something. So we look forward to having you over a cup of tea next time. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.